Okay, Colin, you're doing a great job. It really is a pleasure to work with you. You're a quick learner. You're serious about what you're doing, and you're really making strides. And you're making them quickly, which is really impressive. So I think you should be encouraged by that because you don't see that too often. You know, I've been coaching for a long time, and you don't really see kids making these kind of changes so quickly. Like your front leg lands really good. You're on the midline, which is excellent. So you're not throwing across your body. So that's going to be a key contributor and a component for you to help advance your pitching even more. You're gonna get your leg down better. You're gonna brace it up quicker. You're gonna throw with more velocity because of that. So what we need to work on now, I mean, there's a lot to do still with the lower body. There's a lot of little components that we still haven't talked about yet, but we'll save that for the more advanced parts. We're still at the beginning stages. So just keep in mind here that you're at a point where you're still cognitively learning this, and coaches call this the cognitive stage, where you're thinking about changes and you're understanding the changes in a mental way, and you're trying to build a memory with that. Then you will get to that associative stage where you're able to associate the mental part with the physical part and actually make the change. And in some cases, you're already there. And then the mastery stage comes much later, maybe months or even a year or two down the road. But the point is that you have to take the time and you have to be patient with this. But I wanted to put the side-by-side video up for you so you can see what huge changes are being made and that you can feel it while you're doing this at home. So keep doing those medicine throws. We're really going to start getting into the lifting part of this next week, the next time we meet. And you'll have to find yourself a gym or use the high school gym to do this. You can work out with your team if you have the team time slots that you guys use. But do the program that I have for you and not the program that your coach has, because what I have is designed for explosive muscles that are very specific to pitching. Okay, so let me show you some of the changes we made. The last time we met, we talked about keeping the trunk taller and getting away from the trunk lean, trying to resist leaning forward and rotating too early. I think that's what we really were focusing on, because your lower body looks really good. I mean, again, there are some things that we have to still fix. We have to fix your first movement, which is your early momentum. So if you watch here on the left side, instead of just dropping the leg down, and I know we didn't work on this too much this lesson, which we probably should have, but it's okay, because I think that the trunk is a little bit more important right now to fix than worrying about momentum. We can always build that momentum when we get the trunk in the right position. So what I mean by that is your first movement right here, as that leg comes up, we want to start moving the body out. We want to feel the momentum moving just a little bit, just to give us some kind of movement towards home plate, okay? And you don't really do that here. You kind of lean back and you stretch the leg out. So if I drew a line here as usual, you're not going to really get off that line after handbrake. Okay, and that's why it's important to get off that line so that you can give the arm time, or give the arm less time to get up. Like the arm just has too much time to get up because the body's taking too long to get out. So we need to increase that speed down the hill, and we need to accelerate that speed into front foot plant. But what we worked on mostly was keeping the trunk straighter. Now, what I was telling you at the lesson was that when you break your hands and your glove arm reaches out this way towards me and you're extending towards me, you tend to this is counter-rotating because your arm is going back behind your body, your throwing arm, and your glove arm is reaching out towards me because you want to keep that, you're thinking about keeping that shoulder closed. But I think that what happens is when you do this, there's an equal and opposite reaction to every action. Remember Newton's law? Well, you come out this way and you counter-rotate. Now you have to come all the way back. And this momentum here and that long arm stretch is going to cause you to get into early trunk tilt. Now take a look at your trunk and how everything kind of uncoils together. So the arm extends up and it has momentum. So the lead arm is just basically too aggressive. We want the upper body to stay as calm. I mean, this whole area, we want this whole area to stay as calm as we can until it's time to activate it. You want to be in that eccentric muscle mode or muscle movement, which means that those muscles are going to stay nice and relaxed until they're ready to stretch and then snap back. But you're a little aggressive, and what's happening, if you watch your upper body here, you're gonna start rotating because the lead arm is pulling the body open. So everything seems to be leaning forward and rotating at the same time. We kind of want this hip to explode open and then the chest thrust out. But watch how the chest kind of leans forward, the shoulders rotate, and everything's kind of happening at the same time. We want the hips to move open so we can get that trunk to thrust next and then the arm to lay back next and so forth. But it kind of looks like everything is happening at once because the lead arm is kind of pulling the body down and across. Across and down, across and down. So here's where you start. The arm swings across, and then everything kind of spills out and uncoils all at once. Now, what I want to show you here with this video is the difference. I know you focused a lot here. You didn't stride out as far. You didn't kick off as hard because you're still on the rubber here when your front foot lands. But that's because you've made such a huge change. I mean, here you are at touch. As your foot touches down, I mean, look at where your head is. That's a tremendous, tremendous difference. Look at how vertical your trunk is. Now you've given that trunk a lot more room to fire forward and to move forward. That trunk is a lot of weight. It's 65% of your body weight. So, and it's also 80% of your velocity. So you get that trunk to move fast in a longer distance because it's straight up. You have further distance now to go. You're really going to boost velocity. Take a look at your earlier video on the right. Look at where you are at touchdown. So just in case you don't think you're doing anything right, look at the difference. The only thing that you did wrong here is you landed toe first. Here you landed heel first, but I'm at the same exact point in the delivery. And look at the difference in your trunk tilt, and look at the difference where your throwing arm is. Look at where your lead arm is, your glove arm. This is beautiful on this side on the left because you're vertical. You haven't started rotating yet. I can tell your elbow is still behind your back. That's where that elbow is going to pinch back, and that's the point where we want to fire these hips. So at this point, this is where you want to kick real hard and let this arm move in the opposite direction so it pinches back and then comes forward. So that's going to happen as you start to develop this. It can't happen in this video on the right because look at where your elbow is. It's already out in front of your shoulder, so you get no horizontal abduction. Your arm is moving right along with your hips instead of moving backwards as your hip is coming forward. This is a hard concept to get, but boy, when you get it, you're going to be in a different category. I know I've said that every single time, but that's really the truth. But look at the change. So you're in a great position in the left video. This is the one we took very late in the lesson, and this is one of your earlier ones. Now let me put you at front foot when the whole foot is down. Look at where your throwing arm is. The whole foot is down here, and look at where your throwing arm is. Big, big difference. Let's see where you are when you brace up and where you brace up. Look at how earlier you're throwing the ball here, which means you didn't let the body get all the forces it needed. So this is why your arm angle is so high. You don't have that 180 degrees because you just didn't get the trunk to rotate at the right time. See how high you are? Now in this video, look at the difference. You're even lower with your trunk angle, and you weren't even throwing as hard. I mean, your arm angle is lower, and you weren't even throwing as hard. So this is the idea. These are the changes that you're going to be able to make, and you're going to see a major difference in arm health, in the feel of your arm, and in velocity. So the idea is to get that arm involved as late as you can, let it get all the way back there, and then let the trunk bring that arm forward at a high speed. Okay? So great job in the lesson this week. Really work on keeping that trunk tall and keeping that chin tucked and keeping that whole top of your body there delayed a little bit longer. And now also I want you to work on, instead of getting this glove hand out like this pointing towards me, let's see if we can keep this body straight so that your shoulders aren't in this direction, but they're in this direction. Okay, so that's going to have a little change there. It's not really going to change your handbrake or any major mechanical issue, but this is a flaw in your delivery. And if you keep swinging that arm out, it's going to cause the entire trunk to start rotating and moving too soon because it can't hold back once you get that arm started. So if you just drop the hands and go right towards the target with the glove instead of swinging it out, you're better off. I think it'll really help you, and you'll be able to do it with explosive power from your legs, and you won't have that constant turn of the arm. Okay? I hope that helps you out. Work hard this week, and I will see you in a few days.